The movie opens up in the 18th century, during the ruling period of a Japanese dynasty called Shotoku. During this time, a dangerous disease called the red face pox spreads around the country. Only men suffer from the disease, which is so deadly that 8 out of 10 men who suffer from the disease die. This causes a drastic decline in the male population, leaving only 1 man to every 4 women. After this, all of the powerful political and economic positions which were previously held by men are replaced by women. Women also become responsible to do all the labor and construction work in order to make an earning for the family, while the men are treated like treasures and kept safe at home. The men's job is to just take care of themselves, look beautiful, and sell seeds to women who want to have kids. They're considered luxury items that can only be afforded by the ladies of wealthy families. Some of the men also work as prostitutes to earn money for themselves and for their families. In this matriarchal society, the Mizuno family is struggling to put food on the table. The family also includes a young and handsome boy, Yunoshin, who loves to practice swordsmanship and wishes to become a great warrior in the future. Despite their critical financial conditions, Yunoshin's mother never allows him to get into prostitution and earn for the family. For this kind of behavior, Yunoshin is very grateful to his mother and also loves her very much. While other men spend most of their time in makeup and beautiful dresses, Yunoshin practices being a samurai. In addition to being a talented swordsman, Yunoshin is also famous for his kindness as he helps women who are desperate to have a baby free of cost. Following this, a number of wealthy girls can be seen approaching Yunoshin's house to ask for his hand in marriage. However, Yunoshin refuses each of them and tells his mother that she should rather focus on finding a suitable male for his sister. On the other hand, Yunoshin has fallen in love with his childhood friend, Onobu. Because Onobu belongs to a wealthy family, Yunoshin has never been courageous enough to approach her and put his heart on the line. He's well aware of the financial and status difference between the two families and always prefers to keep his distance from Onobu. In the next scene, Yunoshin can be seen addressing his family about his decision to join Oku, the inner chamber of the castle where the men who take care of the queen live. He is doing so to help his family uplift their financial status and to keep his distance from Onobu. The members of Oku are trained to look beautiful and get attention from the queen, also known as Lady Shogun. Before leaving Oku, Yunoshin meets Onobu, who tries to stop him from joining Oku as it will ruin their relationship. However, Yunoshin leaves, but not before he plants a kiss on her. Following this, Yunoshin arrives at the castle and begs Matsushima, one of the members of higher rank in Oku, to let him join the group. Matsushima reluctantly accepts and shows him around, telling him that he should start from the lowest rank of the group by cleaning up and taking care of the higher-ranking men's belongings. He also mentions that if his services and dedication to the work are satisfactory, he will eventually get promoted to the higher ranks. Here, we get to know that the current Lady Shogun is only 7 years old, providing ample time for the youths to prepare themselves and compete with each other to impress the queen before she gets to an appropriate age. Soon, Matsushima and Yunoshin come across Fujinami, the only highest-ranking man in Oku. Before departing, Matsushima suggests that Yunoshin never say a word about Oku and their tradition to anyone outside. Later, when Yunoshin enters his chamber and greets other members of his rank, he is bullied by a group of men. The bullies make fun of Yunoshin's hairstyle and his way of dressing. However, he uses his superior samurai skills to fight back. He then informs the bullies about the importance of such hairstyle for a samurai. In his starting days in Oku, Yunoshin is given more household tasks than any other member of the group. Despite this, Yunoshin never complains and completes his tasks with ease. While working, the bullies continue to trouble him, kicking him while carrying food and punishing him to stay hungry for days. One night, Yunoshin gets attacked by 3 of the high-ranking men, who think Yunoshin is pretty and want to fulfill their physical desires with him. However, Yunoshin easily defeats them and sends them away. The next day, Yunoshin talks with one of the members working with him, Sugushista, and tells him about what happened to him at night. Sugushista replies that it's normal for men to have a physical relationship with other men in Oku. He mentions that as there are no women in the Oku and the Lady Shogun is only 7 years old, the men are compelled to fulfill their desires by sleeping with one another. He also tells Yunoshin that if one is able to make a good relationship with higher-ranking men, he has a higher probability of getting promoted to an upper rank. Hearing this, Yunoshin feels disgusted as he feels like the men are wasting their seeds on one another when they can actually help other women outside the castle bear children and give them a purpose to live. In the following scene, while cleaning around the castle, Yunoshin hears some people practicing dojo and peeks at them through a small opening from outside. After looking at them for some time, he starts practicing the dojo moves using a broom in his hand. Luckily, Yunoshin gets spotted by Fujinami while practicing, and he asks Yunoshin to enter the practice room and join the others. Fujinami seems impressed by Yunoshin's dojo skills, so despite the men of Yunoshin's rank not being allowed to practice dojo, he makes an exception and allows Yunoshin to fight with one of the most successful dojo fighters, Suroka. Everyone just laughs at Yunoshin and presumes that he will be beaten up, but surprisingly, Yunoshin doesn't take much time to defeat Suroka. Even after getting beaten by Yunoshin, Suroka continues to belittle him and make fun of his unworthy dojo talent. Later at night, Yunoshin has a serious conversation with Sugushista, telling him about his negative feelings about the Oku group. However, Sugushista tells him about how Oku helped him earn money for his family and continue his living. Hearing this, Yunoshin considers himself lucky to have been born into a supportive family. The next day, the news of Yunoshin defeating Suroka spreads all over Oku, and other men start liking and complimenting Yunoshin. At night, Suroka, who gets despised by Fujinami for his loss, approaches Yunoshin and challenges him for another face-off. At first, Yunoshin refuses, but later he agrees to fight as he cannot stand against the order of high-ranking men. After a fierce battle, Suroka again loses to Yunoshin, and because of the humiliation of the loss, he takes his own life. Seeing Suroka struggling to die, Yunoshin approaches him and decapitates him out of mercy. The next day, the 7-year-old lady shogun unexpectedly dies due to an illness and is replaced by an adult, a more vigorous and strict shogun. She is determined to work for the betterment of the country and plans to uplift the economy and make further development. She immediately fires a lady who suggests she wear fancy clothes and look beautiful all the time. Later, the new shogun visits the city to collect information about the situation of the people, disguised as a normal person. She witnesses men being kept in brothels and being treated as commodities. On the other hand, the men in Oku get excited and start preparing themselves to compete with each other and impress the new lady shogun. Only the higher-ranking men are allowed to come in front of Lady Shogun, so Yunoshin has no chance to meet her. Luckily, the same night, Fujinami calls Yunoshin and promotes him to a higher group, making him eligible to compete with others for the service of the queen. Later, while finalizing his dress for the occasion, Yunoshin meets with the tailor, Sakewa, and selects a dress having minimal designs and simple colors. Following this, Sakewa works hard and prepares a beautiful dress for Yunoshin. Impressed by his work, Yunoshin tries to provide Sakewa with something precious but finds nothing to give. Hence, he just kisses Sakewa as an appreciation for his work. The scene then shifts to the day where all the higher-ranking men gather to greet the lady shogun. As other men are wearing vibrant colors and designer clothes, they make fun of Yunoshin for wearing black cloth with minimal designs. Soon, the lady shogun arrives there and walks past them, with all of the men keeping their heads low. Suddenly, she trips on her dress, and someone behind her giggles. Immediately, the lady shogun turns back and asks who laughed at her. To save the man beside him, Yunoshin comes forward and takes the blame. Surprisingly, the lady shogun approaches him and asks him his name after noticing his simple dress and innocent face. She then invites him to sleep with her the following night, leaving everyone stunned. In the following scene, Yunoshin can be seen in front of Fujinami, who informs him that the first man who sleeps with the lady shogun is considered to be the secret swain and should forfeit their life after the night. He also mentions that taking Lady Shogun's virginity is a crime, and one will get decapitated secretly for the act. Furthermore, Fujinami tells Yunoshin that his family will receive a huge amount of money on his behalf. Hearing this, Yunoshin accepts his punishment and agrees to sleep with the Lady Shogun. At the same time, Lady Shogun is also informed about the ritual, leaving her surprised and speechless. Later at night, Fujinami and Matsushima are playing a board game and discussing how Yunoshin will be decapitated. It is then revealed that Matsushima and Fujinami intentionally made Yunoshin the secret swain to get rid of him as a competitor because they took him as a threat. After the death of Yunoshin, Matsushima plans to impress Lady Shogun and be a father to her kids. On the other hand, Yunoshin can be seen thinking about Onobu before preparing himself for the night with Lady Shogun. Later, he takes a bath, puts on some makeup, and approaches Lady Shogun's room to meet her. Soon, the Lady Shogun arrives there and starts off the conversation by asking his personal name. She also tells her personal name to be Nobu. After finding out that the Shogun's name is similar to that of his childhood lover, Onobu, Yunoshin's eyes fill with tears. He then feels grateful for getting the opportunity to spend his last night with a person that has a similar name to Onobu. Following this, the two start kissing each other and make passionate love. The next morning, Yunoshin is informed that he succeeded in pleasing the Lady Shogun. Later, we see him getting prepared to be executed in front of the officials. Soon, one of the officials puts a katana on Yunoshin's neck and eliminates him. Sakewa and Sugushista cry over Yunoshin's death, while his family receives a handsome amount of money with a letter of condolence stating that Yunoshin died of a disease. The scene then fast-forwards a few weeks, where Onobu can be seen visiting Yunoshin's tomb and offering him flowers. Here, we get to know that Onobu still loves Yunoshin and has not forgotten him. Surprisingly, while Onobu is wiping her tears, Yunoshin appears in front of her alive. He then reveals that Lady Shogun is kind-hearted, as she sent a secret man to save him from getting executed and released him from Oku to live a free life, despite declaring him dead. Onobu rushes towards Yunoshin and hugs him tight, making him promise to never leave her again. In the last scene, the Lady Shogun releases all the men from Oku to live a life by themselves and to release a financial burden from the country's economy. She further states that the men can help other women conceive children and even announces to provide them with some money to begin with. That was all from the video. I hope you liked it. Subscribe for more content like this and hit the like button to help us out. Also, leave a comment if you want us to recap your favorite movie. Until next time, take care.